Welcome back, everybody, to the Insightful Podcast. We gain insight in order to move forward in life. For this episode, I want to ask you a question. What if you're not lazy, you're just out of alignment? That's what we will be discussing in this podcast, so let's get straight into it. Laziness is often misdiagnosed. Most people labeled as lazy aren't lacking discipline, they're lacking direction. When your actions don't align with your values or purpose, motivation naturally drops. How many people do you know that maybe within their work they're seen as a lazy person, but outside of that, they are super disciplined and they're super focused on what they care about? A lot of the times you are not lazy, you just don't care about what you're currently doing, right? When you read a book that you are uninterested in, it is very hard to stay disciplined and consistent with reading that book on a day-to-day basis. But when you pick up a book that is on a topic that you really care about, you'll start to see that you could stay consistent and stay disciplined with reading that because you enjoy that topic. This is so true. I used to tell myself growing up as a kid, I didn't like to read, but that was because the books we read in school, I didn't enjoy. But the second I started to realize that, you want to know what, there's some topics that I want to gain knowledge in, I'm going to purchase them. When I would purchase them and read them, I was able to read more consistently because I actually cared about the topics, right? That is why some people will do really bad in a certain subject with their studying habits, but in another subject, they do really well, right? I remember in grade 10, I did really well in my science class because I had a great teacher and because I actually cared about what we were learning. So it's all about that. Sometimes laziness is often misdiagnosed and is just you not being aligned with what you care about. Therefore, you won't put in the effort that matters. Point number two, energy follows meaning. You're not lazy when binge watching a show you love. Why? Because it interests you. The same applies to life. When something matters to you, flows effortlessly. Alignment creates fuel, right? When I start filming podcasts, this is the fifth podcast I filmed today. This feels easy to me because I enjoy filming podcasts, because I enjoy editing them, because I enjoy speaking about self improvement. Energy follows meaning. I have plenty of energy right now to film these episodes because I know they are meaningful and I know they could potentially inspire someone and someone can also learn something from it, right? That is what matters, my friends, is understanding this concept that when you are high energy and when you feel so passionate about what you're doing, that is because it is meaningful to you, right? The third point, misalignment creates resistance. Doing things that go against your true self feels heavy. That mental friction, lack of joy, and constant procrastination are symptoms, not flaws. You're not broken, you're just off course. Maybe this business idea that you're pursuing, you don't really care about. You don't really care about getting your clients results. You don't really care about building a business in this field, right? Maybe that's why you can't stay consistent with the work. Maybe that's why you can't stay consistent with the outreach. Let's take a quick break to speak about the sponsor for the podcast. I am now working with a company called Attilius Apparel, and if you want Christian fitness wear that looks like or this, click the link in the description. Now let's get back into the podcast, right? Maybe you're creating content, but it's on something you don't even care about. Maybe that's why you can't post a video every single day, or two, or three, right? And that is the thing. Maybe the friends and the people you hang out with, you find it very hard to see them on a frequent basis. Maybe it's because you guys don't share the same views anymore. Maybe it's because you guys don't care about the same things anymore. These are all questions you need to ask yourself. That if you are misaligned right now, that is where that resistance is coming from. The fourth point, you can't hustle your way through the wrong path. Working harder on something that drains you only leads to burnout. Productivity should be the result of clarity, not punishment for not doing enough, right? I'm telling you right now, it is much easier to work 10 hours on something you truly care about than it is to work on 3 hours on something you could care less about, right? And this is the reality, is sometimes you could kind of force yourself to get past that feeling because you think after a certain while it will go away. But that is not the case. If you are struggling to complete something all the time and it feels like an impossible task, maybe it's just not for you. And this is a question you have to ask yourself because it is the truth. The final point is find what feels right, then build discipline around that. You don't need to force motivation. You need to rediscover what genuinely excites and aligns with you. From there, discipline becomes a tool, not a crutch. Discipline is very easy when you are staying consistent on something you care about, right? I enjoy going to the gym every single day, and that's what makes that discipline easy. That's what makes it easier for me to wake up early in the morning and go compared to someone else because I'm surrounding myself with something I am passionate with, right? Once you find what feels right for you, you will see that discipline will be second nature and it will be easy. So that is what it is, my friend. This whole podcast is about maybe you are not lazy right now. Maybe you are just not aligned with what you actually want to do. And that is okay. Because if you're recognizing that now, you could kind of shift your energy towards finding what you truly care about. And then you could start working towards that. And I'm telling you that laziness won't exist anymore. Thank you guys for making it this far in the episode. If you guys enjoyed this podcast, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and let me know any future topics you'd like me to speak about in the future. Take care, everybody, and I'll catch you guys on the next episode.
Rush a cold to a diamond, eyes forever shining. Your beauty alone inspire a nigga to rhyming.